So the braids for the cupcake case are worked in ladder 1 braid. This is a relatively simple braid, but it's made slightly more complex by the fact that I'm using different shades of colour. So I've got 3 shades of colour from dark to light, and the first section is going to be in pink. So my outside pairs are going to be in dark pink, and my 2 worker pairs are going to be in the light pink. So then working across, we're going to have 2 dark pink passives, 2 medium pink passives, 2 light pink passives, one either side of the centre of the braid, and then again 2 medium and 2 dark. So of course this affects how we can do the false footing, because we need to be mindful of the coloured pairs that are going in and which direction they're going to be going. So I'm going to show you now how to do that. So if I zoom in, I'm going to start on the left hand side and put a pin in that first pinhole on the left. And on this I'm going to hang 2 dark pink pairs open like a rainbow, and these are my outside pairs for the piece. Next up, I want to put in my outer passive, which will be dark pink, and my first worker, which will be the lightest pink, so that I can hang these on and get them in the right place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link the pairs. So I've laid the dark pink down across my pillow. I'm going to lay the light pink diagonally across it and lift the light pink pair so that I link the 2 together. So can you see there? The 2 threads are linked. That way I can hang these on and put the colours where I want them. So I'm going to hang them on that pin, and I'm going to lay them on the inside of the 2 outer pink pairs. I'm going to twist the 2 left-hand pairs twice, and the 2 right-hand pairs I'm going to work in cloth stitch and 2 twists. So now I have my 2 outside edge dark pink, my worker in the light pink, and the dark pink for my my first passive. Now I'm going to place a pin in the next pinhole along, and on this pinhole I need a dark pink on the left and a medium pink on the right. So again I'm going to link those pairs. So I'm going to have a dark pink and lay that down, then I'm going to grab a medium pink and lay it across, pick up the dark pink so that I can link those pairs. So I'm going to hang those on that pinhole with the dark on the left and the light medium on the right. I'm going to twist the dark pair twice, and then I need to work the edge stitch here. Now I can't work a standard edge stitch, because if I do cloth stitch and 2 twists now, then the medium pink is going to end up on the outside. So what I'm going to do is a no colour change edge stitch. And to work a no colour change edge stitch, I'm going to cross the middle 2 bobbins, twist both pairs twice, cross the middle 2, twist both pairs twice. So that's cross, twist, twist, cross, twist, twist. And you can see that the dark pink has stayed on the outside and the medium pink is now hanging down as my passive. So on the next pinhole, I need a medium pink on the left and I need a light pink on the right, which will be the centre passive for my braid. So I shall lay that down, lay the light across it, lift that pair up and link the pairs. Then I'm going to hang that pair, or those 2 pairs, on the pin with the medium pink to the left and the light pink to the right. I'm going to twist my medium pink twice, and I'm going to work a no colour change edge stitch on the right. So cross, twist, twist, cross, twist, twist. You will need to be a bit more careful about tensioning up, because that link where the threads are linked together is going to try and move around a bit. So you just want to be very careful and conscious that you're keeping your threads nice and snug around the pin. So on my next pinhole, I want a light pink and a medium pink again. So I'm going to link those. And this time the light pink is going to go on the left and the medium pink on the right. Twist the light pink pair twice and work my no colour change edge stitch with the edge pair. Cross, twist, twist, cross, twist, twist, and tension that carefully. Then the next one, this one I want a medium pink and I want a dark pink. So link those, and I'm going to hang the medium pink to the left of the bobbin and the dark to the right. Twist the medium pink twice and work a no colour change edge. Well, actually I can work a standard edge stitch here because the two outside pairs are the same colour pink, so I'll work an ordinary edge stitch there. Then pin in the last pinhole and on here I want a further dark pink for my outside passive and a light pink for my worker. And this time I want the dark pink on the left and the light pink on the right. So I can twist my dark pink pair twice, once, twice, and I'm going to work a no colour change edge stitch, cross, twist, twist, cross, twist, twist. There. So all my pairs are on the false footing and they're all in order. So I've got 2 dark edge pairs, 2 light workers, and then coming in from the outside I've got 2 dark pink passives, 2 medium pink passives and 2 light pink passives at the middle. So as I said, we've got 2 workers for this braid and they're going to meet and cross in the middle. So it's a relatively simple braid, as I said. So for each row, the worker is going to work into the middle through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist the worker twice, through 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist the worker once, and then it'll wait for the other worker to come from the other side, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist once. The workers then cross each other in a cloth stitch and twist before working out in the same way to the opposite sides of the braid. So let me demonstrate that for you now. So I'm going to start on the left hand side and I'm going to come through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist my worker twice, through 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist my worker once. Then going to the other side, I'm going to pick up the other light pink worker and go through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist once. Now the 2 workers are at the middle of the braid, so I'm going to work those in a cloth stitch and twist. Then I'm going to take the new left hand worker out to the left, through 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, and then because we don't want to swap the worker with the edge pair, I'm going to work that no colour change edge stitch at the edge. So cross, twist, twist, cross, twist, twist. Pin up under 2 pairs, and you can see because I've worked that no colour change edge stitch, my worker is still the same pair ready to come back through the work. So I'm just going to gently tension up. They're all a bit wobbly because it's the start of the braid. and I'm going to pick up that other light pink worker in the middle and take that out to the other side. So 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, no colour change edge stitch, so cross twist twist, cross twist twist, and pin under 2 pairs. Now I can give that all a little bit more of attention, get everything sitting where it needs to be. So I'll show you one more repeat of that braid. So bringing the worker in from the left, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist once, then picking up the other light worker from the other side, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, making sure my passives aren't twisted, 1, 2, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist once, cloth stitch and twist the workers in the middle before taking the new left hand pair out, 1, 2, 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, work that no colour change edge stitch, so cloth cross twist twist, cross twist twist, and pin up under 2 pairs. Tension that up and tension the passives back to the midpoint of the braid. I'm just going to put that little bit of tension on that other worker. Before I take the second worker back out to the right hand side in 3 pairs of cloth stitch, twist twice, two pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, and then work my no colour change edge stitch, so cross twist twist, cross twist twist. Now when I work a braid like this, I always find it best to have a little rhythm, so I will bring the left pair into the centre, then I'll go back and get the right hand pair and bring it into the centre. I'll cross them over in the middle, and then I'll go out to the left first and then come back and take the worker to the right. And I find that by keeping sort of that regular routine, so if you start with the left, always start with the left, it can help keep your braid nice and straight because you're not tensioning in different ways as you move the braid along. So I'm going to carry on like this, and a bit further down I've got a couple of markings on the braid where it gets wider, and I'm just going to add a couple of pairs there. So I'll show you that when I get to it. You can see now that I've worked the braid down as far as the point where I've got these 2 plus signs on the pricking, which shows me that I need to add in a couple of extra pairs. Now that's only in this central section, and it's because it widens out at this point here as it reaches the bottom of the icing. The other sections all come down and they stay the same width, but because this one gets a bit wider, I'm just going to add an extra dark pair, an extra dark pink pair to the outside of the braid. So looking at the left hand side of the braid, I've got 2 pairs there. I'm going to lay it down astride the left hand thread of the right hand pair. So I'm going to hang it on a pin above the work, and I'm going to lay it just astride. I can zoom out, you can see. So this is the right hand pair of the 2 dark pink, and I'm just going to lay it astride the left hand bobbin of that pair. And then if I go over to the other side, I've got the 2 dark pairs there, and I'm going to put a support pin up at the top, and then I'm going to lay that astride the left hand bobbin of the right hand pair of that 2 dark pink. So now I'm just going to carry on, and I'm going to do a couple of repeats of the braid before just lifting these support pins and just gently tugging the passives down. So you need to remember when you're working the braid that instead of 2 pairs of cloth stitch at the start of the braid, I now need to do 3, because I've got 3 dark pink pairs before I twist the worker twice, then the remaining 3 passives and twist the worker once, coming back to the other side, and again through the 3 dark pink pairs, twist twice, then through the 3 remaining passives, twist once, cross over my workers, come out to the left, and just a little tip, you might find it easier to pin up under your worker and tension before working the no colour change edge stitch. I've just found it a little bit easier just to tension that way. So I've tensioned up my passives, and then I'm going to do my cross twist, twist, cross twist, twist. Coming back to the right hand side, take my right hand worker out through 3, twist twice, twist twice. I'll pop my pin under my worker and tension that up. And work my no colour change edge stitch there. So I'm going to do another repeat before I drop those passives down, because if you drop them down too quickly, if you take the support pin out too quickly, the work is not sort of firm enough to hold the threads in place without pulling a hole. So I want to give it a couple of rows, so in this case it'll actually be four across and backs of the workers. And then take this worker across to the right. And then now I'm just going to lift out that pin and just gently tug down on one of the bobbins to let that sit down. As I say, if you take that out too soon, then when you pull it down, the work won't be firm enough and you will pull a hole in your braid, and that's not what you want to do. So now I'm going to carry on with that braid to the bottom, and when you get to the bottom, as you can see here, I've just got, if I zoom in, I've got the loose ends of thread where I tapered the roll on the icing section, so I'm leaving those until I've sewn in at the bottom here before I cut those off again, so that those threads are less likely to work through to the front. But if I look along this line, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pinholes there, and with the 2 extra pairs I've put in the braid, I've got 16 pairs. So each pinhole has got 2 sidebars, so you'll just need to sew in 1 pair into each of the sidebars of all of those 8 pinholes. When you've done that, take the dark pink pairs, 2 dark pink pairs from either this side or this side, it doesn't matter which, and you're going to take 2 pink pairs and you're going to roll around the edge of that section. And then when I've done that, I'll show you how to add in the adjoining section of braid, because it's ever so slightly different, because we can't do a complete false footing because we're attaching it to the existing braid. So I'm at the bottom of the braid and I've just placed the last 2 pinholes. I should mention here that I would strongly suggest that when you've placed those last 2 pinholes, that you work one final repeat of the braid before you sew in, because if you can see, there's a little bit of a gap here, but if you just work another repeat, that fills in that space and will give you a nicer finish. So I'll bring the left hand pairs across, the right hand pairs across. And then take that worker back out to the left hand side. And I'm just going to cloth stitch it through the pink pair, just so that it just makes it a little bit easier when I'm making the sewings then. So I'm going to tug that down, just tension that down a little bit. Take the other worker out to the other side. Stitch that through that edge pair, tension them down, and can you see it's just filled in any gap that there might have been. And then when you work the sewings into those 8 pinholes across the bottom, the braid's going to sit nice and snugly against it, and then, as I say, you'll then roll back round with the 2 dark pink pairs to finish that section. So that's the first section complete on the cupcake case, and the other sections will be worked connecting to the previous sections along the sides. So you'll be sewing in, when you work the braid, you'll be sewing in on this side, and on the left you'll be sewing in on the right hand side with an ordinary foot side on the outside. So we're going to start with the false footing, but the difference is I'll be sewing in pairs to connect to the edge here. So with this pin here, there are 5 others. That gives us the 6 pairs. However, because I'm only going to be adding the edge pair and a worker at this pinhole, I'll need to add a further dark pair hanging down here, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So let's just zoom in. So I'm going to take out that pinhole, take the pin out, and I've got 2 sidebars here. I've got one on the left and one on the right to the bottom, and it's this one on the right that I'm going to use. If I just turn the pillow slightly. So I'm going to take my hook underneath that sidebar, and on this I'm going to add a dark coloured pair for the edge and a light pair for the worker. So I'm going to add these at the same time. So I've got my crochet hook through under the sidebar. I'm going to pick up the light pair, because that's the pair I want on the underside, and take that, bring the loop of that through the pinhole. Now I'm going to pass the dark pair through that loop, and that links the 2 pairs at that pinhole. So the light pair is going to be my worker and the dark pair is going to be my edge pair. And I'm just going to pop the pin back in that pinhole, which will just give a little bit of support and prevent those pairs from sliding about too much. So the dark pair there, I'm going to add 2 twists. That's going to work along the top of the work, and the light pair, which is the worker, I'm not going to add any twists at all. So now I'm going to continue with the foot side, the false footing. So I'm going to pop a pin in the next pinhole along, and I'm going to hang, so whereas the first pinhole we'd have had a further dark pair at this pinhole, a further 2 dark pairs for this pinhole, we'd have had a dark pair for the left hand edge, and we'd have had a dark pair for the first passive. We've only got the light and a dark, so we don't need the dark pair for the left hand edge, but we will need that other dark passive. But now I'm going to go and I'm going to work as if this is the second pin along. So I'm going to have a dark pair on the left and a medium pair on the right, and I'm going to link those pairs as I did before. So I've got the dark pair on the left, medium pair on the right, hang those around that pin, twist the dark pair twice and work a no colour change edge stitch with that medium pair, so it keeps my dark pair on the outside. I'm going to carry on. So on this pinhole I'm going to add a medium pair and a light pair, and I've linked those together. The medium pair will be on the left hand side and the light pair on the right. Twist the medium pair twice and work that no colour change edge stitch with the light pair and the edge pair. Place a pin in the next pinhole, and we're going to have our second light pair and medium pair there. So I shall link those. So this time the light is on the left and the medium is on the right. Twist the light pair twice and work my no colour change edge stitch with the medium pair. Next pinhole along, and we'll have a medium pair and a dark pair here. So link those with the medium on the left and the dark on the right. So that's 2 twists on the medium, and because the right hand pair is the same colour as the edge pair, I can just do an ordinary edge stitch here. And then for my final pin, I need my second dark passive and a light worker for the edge. So link those with the dark pair on the left and the light on the right. So twist the dark pair twice and work a no colour change edge stitch with the left pair. So now I've got all but one of my pairs in. So the light are my workers, which will come in to the middle. But what we've got on the left hand side is we're still short our second dark coloured passive. So I'm just going to put a support pin above the work, and I'm going to hang that extra dark pair in around the pinholes, and I'm just going to lay it astride the left hand pair of that initial dark passive. So then I'll work a couple of rows of the pattern and drop that down. So bring the worker in from the left through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, through 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist once. Then I'll go and get the worker from the other side, and I'll bring that through 2 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, through 3 pairs in half stitch, in cloth stitch, twist once, cross the pairs over at the middle in cloth stitch and twist, and then take the left hand pair out to the left side. So 3 pairs in cloth stitch, twist twice, 2 pairs in cloth stitch, and then I'm going to start sewing in on the left hand side. So I'm going to sew in to the lower side bar on each pinhole. Now when you work these outer braids, it feels a little bit like they're slightly angling out. It's absolutely fine. The pinholes are all counted out, so you don't need to make extra sewings on the inside, and you don't need to gain anywhere. Just work a sewing on the inside, pin on the outside for every row, and by the time you get down to the bottom of the section, you'll be perfectly lined up for sewing into the cupcake, to the icing base. So make a sewing there, and as I did on the previous braids, I haven't put a twist before doing the sewing, because I want the braid to go right up close to the edge of the previous braid, not have a gap. So I'll take this worker out to the right hand side, and of course I've used pink and aqua for my braids for this cupcake. You could do all your sections of the case the same colour, no colour change edge stitch there, or you can make them all different colours, or you can choose different colours to the ones that I've chosen. Really make it how you want it to be. It's your lace after all. And if you want to change up the braids, you know, these are the braids that I've chosen. Choose something different if you'd like. So that's one repeat. So I'm going to do a second repeat of this braid, and then I'm going to drop that worker down on the left hand side. My pairs are getting a little jumbled there. Stitch and twist in the middle. Take my left hand pair out to the left hand edge. And you'll notice that when I'm sewing into the adjacent braid, I'm not putting the pin back in. I find that really does affect the tension of your lace if you do that. So you really don't need to put the pin back in once you've done the sewing. Occasionally at a corner point where I started the braid, you know, it needs a little extra support, but generally you don't need to do that. So now I've done a couple of rows of the decorative braid, I'm just going to tug and drop that pair down, and then just carry on and do that for all the remaining sections of the cupcake case. When you've worked these remaining braids, when you finish at the open end, as it were, you'll take 2 dark pairs of the colour you're working and roll it back up to the very start point, and I just sew those 2 pairs in where I started off the braid on that first corner there. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed these videos and found them useful, and look out for all my other videos. Thank you very much.